How's it going, guys? I like literally can't even do an intro without yelling. Hi, it's Timmy Joe. New build. Well, recycled build. When I did my Ryzen build, I lacked, any sort of cable management. Good case. There were lots of stuff missing, and that was in the name of getting things online on board, saving some money in the case department, because I did have an Antec case. It was just really old and was not designed for solid state drives or proper airflow or anything. But now I'm a YouTuber and I got people asking me to review stuff, so CMT210, that's the case we're reviewing today. It's from FSP, which is actually a long-time power supply maker. But we'll get into all the goodies and stuff after this intro, so cue up the intro. Cue it up. So you'll have to excuse me, I'm still getting this thing all sorted out, but I really liked this case, and how I happened upon it was I was looking on Amazon for cheap cases, and I saw this FSP case, but no reviews on it whatsoever. There's a product video from them, and then there's a few like Spanish people that reviewed it, but nothing English, nothing with a actual system built in it from a user. So I emailed over to FSP, and they're like, hell yeah, let's get on board. And what was awesome is they not only sent me case, they sent me a few power supplies and a few CPU coolers, all compatible with AM4, so there will be reviews for that stuff coming up. But I did use one of their power supplies and one of their CPU coolers in the build. I thought because it matched black and there's blue LEDs and stuff, it would work out in this. But I also used some Corsair RGB fans with their controller and all that, and I'll do a separate review on that. But as for this case, I wanted to kind of detail the building of the computer inside it, as I was used to the absolute worst of conditions. That Antec case had no cord management whatsoever, no thought to real airflow. It's designed to put a bunch of mechanical hard drives in it and like 4 CD-ROMs. I mean, like, who uses CD-ROMs anymore? And it's questionable. I made it work for a while, but this thing's awesome. It's designed to have 3 fans in the front, some up to 3 SSDs, mounted quite cleverly, I'll add. And you can have up to 3 mechanical 3.5-inch hard drives in the bottom, and it's a really open design. Now, a few things lacking on it: there are no vents at the top whatsoever. So if you're looking to vent out the top or vent your radiators at the top, this is not the case for you. Who is this case for, though? Well, budget oriented. It's no more than $60 on Amazon. So it is in the in the realm of very, very cheap, which had me worried because, it's got a plastic side panel. It's got, like a budget conscious design, which usually means flimsy metal, cable management's a joke, and fan placement and stuff like that's a joke. But FSP took all the things you really need and they put them in a pretty solid case here. Without the side panels on either side, I was expecting this to be very flimsy because the metal is quite light. But it was very, very solid. I had no problems with both the side panels off with flexing or anything like that. Like, it's not going to support an elephant with those off or with them on, but pretty decent. And because there's no drive cages for the 5.25 at the top, gives you lots of wiggle room for fitting stuff in here. You could probably do some sort of custom loop in here, although it is pretty small. I will give it that. I left my AIO out of this because I wanted to test out their coolers. I did have some issue with their cooler. It's more designed for Intel, I think. Intel's oriented the other way, but there is no way of changing the orientation of the fins on the cooler, so I'm exhausting through the side of it right now for my AM4 setup. And it wasn't, we'll get to that in the review of the cooler themselves, but because there's no venting at the top of this case, I was stuck kind of jimmy rigging something. There is cable management. It's all in the side panel. It's well thought out. There are places to route cables from top to bottom. It does a very good job of hiding the contents of the case from this point of view. I will, however, say the back panel, there's limited space in there, and although there's lots of hook points and it comes with little zip ties, with the amount of cables I have in my system, I found it to the point where it was hard to close the other side of the case without, kind of shoving it all in there. Now, a master cable router might have better luck. The front panel pops off and exposes the fans. It pops off very easily. Again, this is budget stuff, so there's no like crazy system of like it's held in by plastic clips. Those plastic clips might break eventually. All the cables inside were black and actually fairly easy to work with, except for, of course, the power switch cables. They are colored, orange, green, and red or whatever, which you can never kind of get around, but I was able to hide them pretty well, so you can't even really see them from the inside of the case. So all in all, for it being a $60 case, even though I am being a smidgen biased because I got the case for free, I'm not going to I'm going to disclose that. For $60, you could definitely do worse in buying a case. This covers like a lot of the bases. It's on the edge of being, a cheap construction, but still made fairly well. Has very good cable management. It lacks like rubber grommets for the holes, but the holes are small enough that I didn't really think I needed the grommets. I think it's a perfect balance of the whole size of the holes versus, being able to fit things in them. It kind of is a level, it's really good actually. What I want you guys to do is, could you please name this build? I want you guys to name it in the comments below. Let me know, what you think is a good name for this build. I think I was trying to think of something blue diamond, icy diamond, blue balls. I don't know, but I'd rather you guys name my first official build, and kind of see what kind of weird stuff we can come up with in the comments below. As far as the FSP CMT210, it's the only case they make. And it fits a full ATX board in it. It's a mid-tower case. It's very well thought out for it being their first attempt. I had really no issues getting it set up, and I'm actually surprised I don't have that many bad things to say about it. This plexiglass door came scratched, even though it had two sandwiched pieces of plastic on it. That kind of sucks. There's a little scuff here. I'll see if I can't rubbing compound it out or something, but that means it's going to get scratched eventually pretty easily, but it's not tempered glass and it's not supposed to be. Any other bad things to say about the case? I really can't think of anything. The only thing is that it's a $60 case and you can't expect too much out of that, but when it comes down to it, it's got expansion slots for up to a 7 PCIe, so you could fit a Crossfire, and in their video they do have like a 2 graphics cards set up in this case. You could easily fit all the cables for it. They sent me one over their fully modular power supply, so it was nice because it's actually pretty nice power supply. So the cables were all black, it all matched. Everything's toolless. You can put the drives in there toolless. There's a little sliding mechanism for it, and it comes with thumb screws for the drives even. Yeah, it fits 4 120mm fans, or you can even use 140 in the front. There's slots for both. I'm trying to think of bad things to say about it. Like, objectively, there isn't much bad to say about it, except for it is kind of cheaply built, but you'd expect that with a $60 case. So name the build. There's going to be a couple more of looks into some FSP products. FSP has been making power supplies for industrial stuff and whatever for a long time, but they're just getting into some gamer, some consumer grade stuff, and they sent me over a bunch of stuff to review, so we'll look at some power supplies and some CPU coolers a little bit later. But I'm Timmy Joe, and you can call me a corporate shill, but you know what, I can't be bought, okay? If this was crap, I would tell you it's crap, and it's actually pretty damn decently good. You can get it on Amazon. There are links below, and I'm actually going to go write an Amazon review. I don't have to, but say it's really good, because it's totally worth the $60, and all of their other products are pretty well priced too. So I will bid you adieu. I'm at Watch Timmy Joe on Instagram and Twitter. There is like loads of content coming up. I know I've been a little bit slow lately, but that's just because I've been organizing and waiting for some stuff. I have some hard drives on the way, NVMe, and you know, some stuff from Mike Digital SSD. I've got some review units from Azul, some mini PCs. I've got all kinds of stuff. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell if you're a ridiculous person and actually want to be notified when I yell at the microphone. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video, which should be a lot of them next week.